My hometown, Cairo, Illinois, was a place of a lot of fun for me as a child. This fun overshadowed much of the terrible things that occurred there in the past. But unfortunately, these terrible incidents seem to be all that Cairo is known for. I am proposing a documentary produced and directed by a Cairo native. A piece about this historical river city created by one of its natives will provide audiences with a unique glimpse into the town. By doing this film, I intend to provide perspectives which other films have not given.
The black community was pretty strong in Cairo from
Well, they had a lot of confrontation between the white citizens council, or white hats, and the black community.
Even though Cairo has many problems, they're not problems that cannot be solved.
That it has the potential and it has the resources, and that people will come and invest.
I'm hoping though for the future is that we generate some kind of a business.
We won the battle, but we lost the war.
Cairo, Illinois is the southernmost city in the state of Illinois. It resides on the confluence of the Ohio and Mississippi rivers. Although this city has lacked little commercial success over the years, yet it has flourished in so many ways. From the very first African Americans who settled here from contraband camps, Cairo has fostered an extremely vibrant African American community. As such, a strong sense of pride combined with success was given to its black population. Unfortunately, due to several bad events and terrible media coverage, when this city is mentioned, an unfair and erroneous image often comes to mind. Nevertheless, many people have made it their homes because they are aware of the beauty that lies within. One such individual is Percy Jones, a successful black businessman who's had several venues in Cairo for over 30 years.
When I first got a business here, talking about been 35 years ago now. It was my first club I owned was up on 32nd Street, 3200 Poplar in Cairo.
3-2.
And I owned run that for about 20-something years. Then I finally bought a club outside of city limits out there, Future City, and I ran that for like 5 or 6 years. But I closed. I released the one in Mound City for 5 years.
And you leased that from my uncle.
Right, and like I said before, so business was good then. Like I said, the population was large in Mound City, Mound, Sandusky, Orchard Park, Klondike. With a larger population all around, so that's why business was so good in Cairo.
Outside of being a great place for business, Cairo, Illinois has also been a good area for fostering a strong community, especially amongst the African American population.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
There's always a lot of negative things about Cairo, but me being a resident of Cairo, I know there's a lot of good things. As a child growing up, there's a really strong black community. Can you talk about the strength in the black community and some highlights of the black community, you being a child and just being here in Cairo?
Yeah, well, the black community was pretty strong in Cairo. From coming up, we as kids, we didn't know too much about what was going on. We respected the older people. Older people were like our parents. They saw us doing something wrong, they would correct us right away.
Yeah.
And we had higher standards. And we didn't want Miss So-and-so to see you doing wrong because she'd tell your mother, your grandmother, and you would get disciplined for that. And I missed that. That's how, the community was so strong then.
Although a different town and lies a few miles north of Cairo, but is often viewed as being a part of the Cairo area, Mounds, Illinois, also at one point offered a lot to its residents. Former educator and museum curator Willie Eason speaks of this.
There's
there's always so many negative things people have to say about Cairo in this area. And of course you live in Mounds, but in a lot of ways Mounds is similar to Cairo. However, you had told me at one point that in Pulaski County the African Americans were permitted to prosper a bit more. But getting to the question, why did you decide to stay here? Why didn't you leave?
Well, Mounds, I've always liked the small town atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
I was born and reared in a small town, and I liked it here. And the people were here were very gracious to me, and I had a job that supported me and my family. And I got along well with the community, and I just decided to stay. I've been here for 51 years now.
I know you taught a lot of people. You was one of my educators, so I've known you for quite a while, Mr. Easton. And I was just curious, why would somebody from a bigger city, and that's an educated man, decide to stay here? So there's definitely been some good things about this area, of course. Although Cairo has a very positive history that very few know about, unfortunately, it also has an extremely dark past. Tell me a little bit what you know about that the civil unrest down there.
Well, they had a lot of confrontation between the White Citizens Council, White Hats, and the black community. They were not willing to provide jobs in the downtown area for blacks, and they had a boycott. Caused a lot of trouble between the various facets of the community, and they started shooting and causing a lot of problems. And we had a gentleman named United Front.
Charles Cohen. Yes.
Charles Cohen was the leader of the black community, and the mayor of Cairo was the leader of the White Hats, I believe. I forget his name.
Wow, really? So this unrest that they had, how did it affect the community in years to come?
Well, it caused a lot of the people in the white community to leave the area because they were unsatisfied with the rift between the two factors. They moved out of the community and took their money with them. And there were a lot of burnings in Cairo where they burned down some of the businesses.
Wow. And
they never did bounce back.
Back in the 60s was a very interesting time. In the 60s, a lot of racial problems. We had a lot of racial problems with, looks like little Vietnam at night. You'd see gunshots.
Wow.
And shots being returned. You could look through the, at one point they had to reroute traffic. At night you could see tracers flying through the air at night, just like you in Vietnam. They were lighting up the skies and things. Wow. And they would, there were marches and pickets and things, which later I think was the cause of some of the businesses going out of business because of their refusal to hire minorities or blacks. They would hire one or two, and it was just, it was bad at that time. And Cairo at one time was one of the busiest places around. People from Kentucky and Missouri used to come to Cairo to shop. Claudia Cohen, wife of civil rights activist Charles Cohen, gives her depiction of Cairo in a different light as well. Ms. Cohen chose not to be seen during this interview due to the constant harassment as a result of her involvement in the civil rights movement.
Yeah, was it the boycott? I guess you had several, but was that the one that you were boycotting the stores and not buying from?
Exactly, right here in Cairo, downtown.
The businesses, yeah.
Yes.
I heard about that.
Yes. Had a somewhat devastating effect on the downtown area.
Do you think that affected the businesses downtown?
Oh, definitely. Many had to close.
Really?
They closed their businesses, yes.
Wow.
Because in the beginning, many blacks did not go down out of loyalty. Loyal in that, if you're asking us not to go down there, just like anybody, where there are unions, and not crossing over a picket line. So a lot of people stayed away, and then once you establish different shopping styles, you go somewhere else and you see that it's better than where you've been,
So you
don't go back.
You don't go back.
Right.
So that's why it affected the business.
It affected them. Many closed. Many moved elsewhere. They got so angry. And that particular aspect of the movement prompted a lot of whites to really get fueled up. And that had a lot to do with them shooting into
the projects.
Right.
Wow.
Clarence Darcy, another former civil rights activist, gives his perspective of what occurred in Cairo.
We won the ballot, but we lost the war because we didn't have nothing to put in this place after we had won our economic boycott. I seen the time, man, in Cairo, man, you understand, that bitter hatred, you understand, overruled any kind of law and justice. Well, there was a justice system for whites and one for blacks. It's not about racism. It's about equal opportunity for blacks and whites, educational and everything else.
Although race relations have changed quite a bit for Cairo since the 60s and the civil rights movement, employment still remains an issue. Concerned citizen Gary Whitfield gives his take on why employment has been an issue for Cairo.
And I believe past politics has played a major role in that, where people that were quote unquote in power did not care about the citizens. They only cared for self, and they lined their pockets with monies. They lined their pockets and their friends' pockets and things like that, to where this city has decayed onto what it is today. But I also believe that the city is on a comeback, that it has the potential and it has the resources, and that people will come and invest time and invest money here to see that there are good people still in this area, that this town can become the glory that it once was.
Aspiring rapper and Cairo native Brandon Lowe provides his perspective on Cairo's current situation.
What do you think about the future, Cairo, man? What do you think the future of Cairo's? What do you think things are going in Cairo for the future? You know? What do you see your place at in that future, if even in Cairo?
Well, I see they done try to bring in a few businesses. You know, some wasn't so successful, some still being able to hold up. But I don't know, really, you know, a lot of stuff, man, is held a secret from the town, to the point to where we don't really know what's going on at times, what to expect. So what I'm hoping, though, for the future is that we generate some kind of a business or make businesses to make sure that we, you know, gain more money into the town, and where we can fund jobs and stuff for people that live inside of Cairo.
Right.
Instead of us having to go outside our means and, you know, have to worry about paying extra wages pretty much to even make it to work. Things like that.
Do you think there's a chance of Cairo actually coming back?
There's a chance. Now, whether that's likely is yet to be seen. But there's a chance, you know, even though Cairo has many problems, they're not problems that cannot be solved. It's a small community. It's a community where everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
It's really, it's a model community, one that anybody would like to live in. But it just needs to yield to the needs of the community, provide certain things, you know, like recreation, places for people to go, and particularly now when the snow is on the ground, make sure that the streets are clean and have some respect for the people in the community, you know.
Even back when I was a little kid, you know, people talked about Cairo and why people left because of unemployment and things like that. But when I was a baby, people had to leave Cairo to find employment.
No one knows what will happen to this town, but everyone who has been affected by Cairo in some sort of positive way hopes that it will somehow make it.
I hope that, I have hope that Cairo will do it, but it's going to take a miracle to do that. And I don't know if at my age, if I will see it in my lifetime.